Broadcasting from Manhattan Beach and the World Wide Web, you're listening to CHSR, HealthyLife.net.
As a service to our listeners, this program is for general information and entertainment purposes only. CHSR, HealthyLife.net does not recommend, endorse, or object to the views, products, or topics expressed or discussed by show hosts or their guests. We suggest you always consult with your own personal, medical, financial, or legal advisor.
Pretty is pretty important in all things in beauty. Welcome to RadioAMB, designed for those who want to live a long and vibrant life. I'm Patty Smucker, a licensed cosmetologist who has been in the beauty industry for over 40 years. RadioAMB stands for American Made Beauty, and it's where we tell the secrets behind the making of health and beauty products and the stories about the people who are involved. Our segment sponsor today is American Made Beauty, where we are very excited about our beauty platform and marketplace that's just launched with an e-commerce element. So please go to AmericanMadeBeauty.com and find beauty products and services that meet a strict set of standards that reflect our American heritage. No industry or country can reach its full potential until women reach their full potential. That's Sheryl Sandberg, COO of Facebook and founder of Lean In. At American Made Beauty, we're part of an industry that historically around the world has helped women to feel women who feel held down and frustrated by the world to rise up and discover their full potential. Our story today resonates with me because the two young women you'll meet today, I see a part of myself. As a young girl growing up, I had trouble in school academically and walked around until my early 30s believing what my freshman high school math teacher told me: you're not really very smart. During the decades after high school, I made a number of decisions in my life, allowing that opinion from another person to define me. My first guest today is a young mother who is fighting for her daughter's education and the application of new research in the way the brain works and how it can, over time, the brain can actually learn differently and will give her daughter the opportunity to discover her brilliance. In the second half of our show today, you'll meet another young woman, Mercedes Felix, that's turned bullying into an opportunity to become obsessed with beauty and received an invitation from Mark Zuckerberg to join and learn more about what she's doing. So let's get started, and I'd like to first of all introduce you to Linda, who has joined us as a mother of Sarah, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about her story. Welcome, Linda. I'm delighted to have you with us.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
So, Linda, tell us a little bit about Sarah and what you've discovered along the way with her.
Certainly, I'd be happy to do that. Sarah is, I'm a proud mom of 11-year-old twins, and my mission is to provide my daughter with the education she deserves and has the right to advocate that all children can learn and have the right to learn. Sarah's a loving, kindred spirit, funny young girl with a specific learning disability. She has dyspraxia, developmental coordination disorder, receptive and expressive language disorders. All of these combined, though, simply result in learning deficits with reading, writing, and math, her primary deficit being language processing. When Sarah's developmental milestones were very early on, and when he entered the education academia world, by the end of pre-kindergarten, I was told that Sarah would best be served in a self-contained environment so that she doesn't fall through the cracks, so that she is getting more one-on-one attention to meet her educational goals. At that time, of course, any mother would want that. I trusted the system to provide exactly that. But by the end of the first grade, I found that her academic gap was widening. And
Linda,
I was
Linda, so let me just go back. So her specific problem, though, is so it's you use some big terms. So I want to make sure that our audience understands what that is. At the end of the day, the specific problem that she has is being able to process information and language.
Correct. What I've learned over the years is that she can take the information in. You have the different areas of your brain that have to process, whether it's going to be from a visual standpoint, an auditory, just processing, just thinking about what you just took in, putting all the pieces of information together from the different areas of the brain, and then being able to have some context and participate back out either verbally or in a written form or to raise her hand to answer a question. And so it's that time delay for her to do that is what her primary deficit is.
And when she was going into school, you were assured through the school system that they could accommodate the learning style that she needed.
Well, in the beginning, being uneducated, of course, my expectation that they knew exactly how to accommodate any child with a disability. That's what the special education and resource classes are for. And children are protected by law under the IDEA Act to be able to get an individualized education program, meaning that you do get very specified intervention for your deficits. But our experience through the years was that was not the case. And she did not receive the specialized intervention that she required due to her deficit.
And at that particular point, because this was new to you, you didn't really know yet what it was that was necessary for her either, right?
I did not. I was relying on the educators and their expertise. I'm relying on the medical community and their expertise. And when you have a child who's a preemie, there's this expectation of this catch-up. And so there's really no diagnostics or no really diving deep into the delay because there's this expectation of catch-up, and the catch-up never happened. And not until you're in school and you are now asked to perform in a writing with verbal, with cognitive functions, that her deficit really started to show up. And again, though, there's no diagnosis until later on in her years, but based on her needs, the education system is supposed to deliver the services that she required. And it took years to realize that wasn't happening because the gap kept widening. She wasn't meeting her goals. And it wasn't until outside services and outside testing, finding out exactly what her deficit was and exactly what intervention she required and that existed, that I was able to provide because the school still didn't provide it, and we saw her grow by leaps and bounds.
Right. And I think that's such an amazing story about the idea that you as a parent went out and sought out outside services to really properly identify what her needs were. But at the end of the day, all across America, students are going to school with a federal requirement that every student is supposed to have appropriate training for what they need, right? So a public school is supposed to have those resources available to train Sarah in the way that she needs to be trained.
Correct, and that would be the vision for any parent, is that even though you have a neurodiverse child, meaning the child that learns differently, we have just a wide spectrum of how children learn. No longer can the classroom be just a teacher and books and be lecturing. It just can't be that way. That's not how our children develop. That's not how the brain develops. That's not even reality of our life today in our day-to-day functional activity. We're very multimedia. We're very dynamic. We're very so much is happening all the time so quickly. And to identify, it's learning unlocked. Just unlock that particular child's learning strategies and the way that they take into the world and educate them according to that. But instead, because they don't fit the cookie cutter in the curriculum within most school districts, that's when the labels start coming out, and then segregation into self-containment, and then you see a child that's not even going to meet the low expectations. And we know that this is true, as the U.S. Supreme Court just made a decision this past March saying just that no longer the minimum education for children and resources in special education is acceptable. And that's what was happening to Sarah. And on my gut level, my intuition told me that there was more. And because she's functioning in everyday life on a higher level, it was just in that academic arena. And so that's when I sought out the services and the expertise, and it was identified exactly what it was. It was language processing, and if you did these specific interventions, she will respond. And in fact, that's what I did, and that is what happened. Unfortunately, I still had a school system that wasn't willing to collaborate with me and my new providers and to bring her strengths out, to tap into the way that she learns. And instead, it just continued with the labels and the segregation and not servicing her to the point where I had to just create my own learning environment for my daughter. And today, the success is just night and day.
And when the labels come out and she's segregated, what kind of reaction does Sarah have in that kind of setting?
It's very troubling to watch your daughter go downhill emotionally, not only academically but emotionally. She knew that she was learning different. She knew that she was struggling, and there was just nowhere for her to succeed. There was no area in the school system for her to succeed, and it was very difficult to watch her withdraw. She became very reactive behaviorally for several years, which was another thorn in the whole mix, and we had to deal with that. And it was very difficult. And as she started to improve, it became more clear to her that she could tell the difference. She could tell the difference of what she had and what she has now. And even today, she knew, because the school, one of the last schools that she was in, changed her and put her into a lower grade resource. And she came out of that school at the end of the day crying. Why did they do this to me? Why am I now back here when I'm over here? So it's very, very difficult to watch your child go through that. And when you're talking about companies that deal with beauty, we all know that beauty starts from the inside. And here you have young girls who are already feeling very, very dysfunctional, ugly about themselves, just because they know that they're not fitting in. They're having the struggles, and nobody's tapping into what works for them. And so it's taken quite a few years, but we have found that for her.
And so tell us, what are the things that Sarah needs with regards to her learning process in order for her to be making these massive improvements in the way that she is processing information?
First and number one is that I found the particular providers that had a belief system that every child can learn, and that every child had a right and deserved to learn. That was foremost. Was number one, is that I found people that had that belief system. Secondly, that they had the training. Beyond the school system, they had evidence-based research training in interventions that work with different children who learn differently, whether she had a language processing disorder, whether she had a visual spatial disorder. These are people who are trained to tap into whatever it is that they need to unlock that learning. It was the repetition. It was getting the homework, getting the assignments ahead of time, simple accommodations. It was she's very, because of the language processing, she's not a book reader, but she's a hands-on. She can get up and she can mark off physically walking off inside of a building and tell you about perimeter and area. She can talk to you and learn about fractions doing baking. She can do money now with hands-on money skills. She can participate in grade level with reading and comprehending things because we do pictures to it. And we'll do different sources of that information so that her brain has that time to process, to use the visual components that work, to use the language processes that work, to then contextually put it together and then participate, whether it's writing down the answers or raising her hand in the class or making a project. And those are simple accommodations, and she can learn. And that's different than labeling and then telling the child and telling the parent that she can't learn. And we're going to put her over here, and we're going to keep our expectations very, very low. And that's just not the case.
Well, and you said it right from the very beginning. The first and foremost is that you got her in with a support system that had the belief system that she not only could learn but had the right to learn. And then all of the other pieces came to it. So my understanding is you've taken her into a homeschooling kind of environment, and in just a couple of minutes we have left in the segment, tell us what kind of success you've had since bringing Sarah into a specialized environment that you've been able to control the way she's being taught.
She is at home. She's on a virtual learning environment for her core curriculum, and then I have particular expert providers that have tapped into how she learns and provide those particular services. And the combination of just logistically the environment, not being a classroom, but being, like I said, multimedia, very dynamic. A lot of children with learning disabilities can't sit still for very long. She has the flexibility of getting up and moving. She can sit, she can stand, she can lay on the floor. The learning center that she's now going to with one of my providers provides that exact environment. So it's letting the child become more interactive with her environment and her learning tools, and just tapping into all her senses that she can gather that information and put that together. The success has just been phenomenal. Before I pulled her out, one of my providers was already working with her, and when the school district had her at a still very low level, K, first, barely touching second grade reading, my provider had her solid third grade within 12 months and merging on to fourth. She just participated in fifth grade curriculum virtually. She actually got a C in English language all on her own. She has her accommodations, but the curriculum wasn't modified in any way. So those are significant differences. And that's what we saw when we were providing the specific intervention necessary for her to learn versus what the school system was doing. And so it was very, very challenging to not have that collaboration with the school system.
Right. And so how is she feeling?
She feels fantastic. She just yesterday told me over the phone that she was thanking me for advocating for her. She has said many, many times in the last few months, thank you for homeschooling her, bringing her home. And recently I had found a card that she actually made for herself, and she is actually writing to herself and telling her that she's proud of herself. And in one line, she's actually telling herself that she feels hopeful. And there's no words to put. There's just no way to describe. So I know I'm on the right path. I know I'm one of thousands of families. And I know now that Sarah has a real chance, because this isn't about math and reading, really. This is about life. This is about how she's going to participate. This is about how she's going to show up in life. And you don't show up in life self-contained. And we're not setting up our children for a very healthy adult life when we do that. She has the right to participate fully.
Yeah, and I think this is it's the part of the reason why I wanted to take the opportunity to tell this story for those of you, for our listeners. You know, we talk a lot about beauty and beauty brands and beauty products and things like that. But but our listeners also know that our industry has been wonderful advocates for people in need. And there is probably no more important a need than that basic need for education, because, as you said, you can just see it within Sarah in terms of her blossoming and realizing that despite the fact that this system has told her that she's really not very smart, you and the system that you put around you has been able to reinforce for her that somebody else's opinion is not going to define her. It's got to feel good for you as a mom to be in that position.
It does, and when you get that feedback from her, it definitely hits that, sweet button that I'm doing the right thing. And she's actually at an age where she's starting to advocate for herself. She understands, she gets it. We talk about what the deficits are, how her brain learns, and it's really all about that language. And instead of talking about how much she can't do, let's talk about what she can do. Let's talk about how the brain works differently. It's not a dysfunctional brain. It just works differently. And when you give the child that information, man, their eyes light up. They're more motivated. She's more motivated from a child who did not want to go to school to a child who doesn't want to leave. or is very happy with the home environment. I mean, you can't go wrong with getting that kind of feedback.
Absolutely. All right, well, we're going to take a break, and when we come back, we'll learn a little bit more about what Linda has put together in terms of her educational resources and what it means for her family. So stay with us. We'll be right back.
Shh. Over here. Here's a secret for a virus-free computer. ESET. They've been a pioneer in the antivirus industry for over 25 years. 25 years of innovative, top-rated antivirus protection. ESET's award-winning security solutions provide a safe online experience for over 100 million home and business computer owners. They are so affordable, fast, and simple to use. So be gone, you blue screen of death. ESET's on my computer. If it's not on yours, visit HealthyLife.net's advertiser page and click on ESET now.
Here's the thing about beauty. It's pretty. At AmericanMadeBeauty.com, we're all about the pretty, making it easy for you to find what makes your beauty shine. We have essentially everything you need, and AmericanMadeBeauty.com celebrates brands that were created right here in the U.S. of A. Imagine everything you need from the best hair, skin, and nail products to makeup and even the tools, because it's all about pretty at AmericanMadeBeauty.com. We also think you're pretty important, so visit AmericanMadeBeauty.com. Browse, buy, learn. AmericanMadeBeauty.com. We're looking for a few good American beauty manufacturers who want to increase their brand in an exclusive credentialed category. If you're an American company who has conceived, designed, and bottled brands that are all about pretty, then we're pretty sure we're talking about you. And we're pretty sure you should be on AmericanMadeBeauty.com. This beauty website focuses on entrepreneurs and beauty startups as well as established brands. If it's pretty, we want to see it, and we want to sell it on AmericanMadeBeauty.com. To learn how you can be part of AmericanMadeBeauty.com, visit AmericanMadeBeauty.com now.
What does HealthyLife.net and Amazon.com have in common? Well, they're both available on the Internet. They both give great value. But most important, most of our positive program hosts and guests are accomplished authors, and their books are available from, you got it, Amazon.com. Now, it even gets better than that, because when you're listening on air to a HealthyLife.net host or guest, you can go directly to Amazon.com, and you can order your book while you're still listening to your favorite HealthyLife.net program. So when you hear an author you like, go to the homepage of HealthyLife.net and click on Amazon.com.
Where positive people and radio unite. HealthyLife.net.
Welcome back. This is Patty Smucker, and you're listening to RadioAMB on HealthyLife.net. I'm here with Linda, the mother of Sarah. And, of course, for those of you who've been listening to our program before, you probably are thinking that it's a little odd that I'm not using last names and making formal introductions. But this is a mother that's in the battle of her life, taking care of her daughter, who, for those of you who didn't hear the first segment, has a learning disability. And Mother Linda has been able to go out and find the resources to discover exactly what her daughter's learning disability is and to amass the resources that is allowing her to educate her daughter. So, Linda, tell us a little bit about what kinds of what's the educational resources that you've put together, and what is that costing you to do?
Yes, of course. So her core curriculum is still coming from a public charter school virtually online. And what I was able to find, what I, number one, had to find was to find an education agency that was going to collaborate with my providers, because I knew there was still no education agency that was going to provide the specific intervention that she needed. And that was number one, and I found that. They're very much collaborative with my providers, and they're very much inclusive of them and their ideas and their the work that they were doing with Sarah. So the second thing I had to do, and initially, because I already had some of these providers, is I just had to go out and find that specific intervention. And so the interventions were evidence-based research programs for reading, like Orton Gillingham, the Wilson program. I went and I found those providers, and they tend to be teachers who are highly, highly trained, and they go on to get a certificate in educational therapy. And
but Linda, you went over it really fast. Tell us again the name.
the educational therapists, and they're very versed in evidence-based research programs like the Wilson program or in Gillingham, et cetera. I don't know all the different names.
Okay.
They work more in a one-on-one setting, and then I've got a new provider who's working in a small group setting to really focus on that deficit. And these programs are progressive. So when you're mastering one, you're going on to that next level. And so I had my first provider for 1 year before I pulled her out of school, and we had already saw the improvements. And then when I brought her out of school and brought her in the home environment, I was part of that learning coach. I was a learning coach with her and working with her at home. And then I had my two providers. My second provider specializes in the math. Sarah had no math skills, and in the last semester has gotten up to second, almost third grade math skills. And again, a provider, an educational therapist who has unlocked how Sarah learns and presenting that information to her in a way that she can process it, link it, put it together, relate to it, and then be able to hold on to that information. So we're homeschooled virtually, and then I've got my two providers, one of which just created a learning center where Sarah will actually go to and be in that small environment. And I want to make a very important part that this is not about placement. And, yes, I'm in a small group setting, and, yes, it's one-on-one. However, that was necessary now because of the educational gap that she has because of the lack of education. I totally believe, and my providers believe, that the interventions they use can be used in a classroom setting. We just don't have the environment on a large scale to do that. No one does that. No one is letting these experts in to do that. So we have to start somewhere, and we have kind of a grassroots going on where I'm at in doing that. We're pulling, families are starting to just drop at our lap saying, I need that. I need this for my son or my daughter. So they're going to go to their curriculum-based education during the day, and then they come to the center. Sarah's actually going to spend most of her day there so that the provider is working with her general education and presenting it in the format that she needs to, but she's going to be exposed to the typical curriculum. And that's the whole idea, is to integrate, not segregate, and just provide those accommodations specific to each child's learning style.
And you said it earlier, too, on the top of the show, which is that the reality is that the needs that children have today, given the environment that they're being raised in with technology and things like that, children's brains are developing differently and their learning needs are different. So what you're advocating for is really an overhaul of the way that typical education is being provided for students, and sort of paving a path to help educators sort of relook at the way that education is being delivered in our country.
Absolutely. We're working on a system that was developed over 100 years ago. It's like anything. At some point, the system that you use as you are evolving in life and years and life is changing, that system just doesn't work anymore. And then you've got the children with the special needs. I mean, they don't even make it. They don't even make it into the general ed setting anymore. You've got general ed teachers or ed students who are struggling because of the very under-providing system that we're still using. And so, and then you look at the children who have specific needs in the way in which they have to learn, and they don't even make it there. So yes, this is a whole system overhaul, absolutely. And we believe that it's doable, and I think we're proving that it's doable, and it's about that integration, and it's about really focusing on their strengths. And anybody can do that. We can always do that. We can always accommodate. And it's just been really successful for Sarah. The challenge is that the burden of education is now on me, and with that comes a cost. And we are tapping into whatever is available to her as far as grants, government assistance, things like that, but it's very limited. And, now that I've seen the difference and the success, I cannot not provide her those services. And so it is a hardship, but there's no turning back. Once you see your child make the progress that she has, there's absolutely no turning back. And that's also our grassroots efforts, is to really identify resources, whether it's from corporations sponsoring, private donations, things like that, whatever it takes to provide these children the education that they deserve and that they have a right to. They have a fundamental right to learn like everybody else does, and they have a right to have it individualized.
And, Linda, I want to thank you for taking the time to be here with us and tell the story, because I think this is just the beginning. You know, we're American Made Beauty is a voice in the beauty industry, and this message will reach others to start to develop our community here in the beauty industry. If you have a child that has similar kinds of experiences and want to reach out and help us build this community, contact us at request at American Made Beauty. Linda will be back on the show in the near future, and we will continue to tell more about this story and give you more resources, as well as reveal more of the backstory. But in the meantime, reach out to us, help us build this community. And Linda, congratulations. I know it's been a tough road for you, but thanks for sharing your story, and thanks for the work that you're doing on behalf of your daughter, because it's on behalf of our entire society. We appreciate you leaning in on this.
Thank you, and we appreciate the opportunity to tell our story, because it is time to tell the story of hundreds of kids like us, and we do want to give these kids the best chance that they can have in life.
Great. All right, well, we're going to take another break, and when we come back, we'll meet Mercedes Felix of Facebook group Beauty Obsessed. So stay with us. You'll hear another really amazing story. We'll be right back.
Here's the thing about beauty. It's pretty. At AmericanMadeBeauty.com, we're all about the pretty, making it easy for you to find what makes your beauty shine. We have essentially everything you need, and AmericanMadeBeauty.com celebrates brands that were created right here in the U.S. of A. Imagine everything you need, from the best hair, skin, and nail products to makeup and even the tools, because it's all about pretty at AmericanMadeBeauty.com. We also think you're pretty important, so visit AmericanMadeBeauty.com. Browse, buy, learn. AmericanMadeBeauty.com.
For all your live or pre-recorded webcasting needs, come to earthchannel.com. Get your web-based message out to a select group or the whole world. It's easy. A pioneer in webcasting, earthchannel.com provides the best products and services to big corporations and government users. And now this same technology is available to you. They have the best Earthcast encoders, servers, and products to meet your technical needs. But wait, don't want to mess with technical stress? No problem. They'll do it for you. EarthChannel.com is your answer. You can use webcasting for lots of things like advertising, marketing, customer support, training, and don't forget web radio and TV. In fact, you're listening to a live Earthcast right now. So come to EarthChannel.com. Actualize your audio or video webcasting needs today. You can't beat the friendly service or the price. Call EarthChannel.com at 1-800-849-8978. That's 1-800-849-8978.
We're looking for a few good American beauty manufacturers who want to increase their brand in an exclusive credentialed category. If you're an American company who has conceived, designed, and bottled brands that are all about pretty, then we're pretty sure we're talking about you. And we're pretty sure you should be on AmericanMadeBeauty.com. This beauty website focuses on entrepreneurs and beauty startups as well as established brands. If it's pretty, we want to see it, and we want to sell it on AmericanMadeBeauty.com. To learn how you can be part of AmericanMadeBeauty.com, visit AmericanMadeBeauty.com now.
When you're looking for bedding, department store prices can shock you. Well, be shocked no more. Sell steak cheap, not cheap steak. That's the motto of Anna's Linens. Although they don't sell steak, they do sell the best bedding, bath, and home decor items. They strive to provide their merchandise at extreme value to their customers, and they do it. Great everyday prices on everything and military discounts. Plus, if you visit them online, they have clearance items and internet specials. Visit them online now at HealthyLife.net's advertiser page.
Radio your way. HealthyLife.net.
Hi, thanks for being with us. This is Patty Smucker with RadioAMB on HealthyLife.net. We've been talking today about leaning in and empowering women to really find their voice and be able to reach their full potential. And I'm delighted to have join us for this segment of the show Mercedes Felix, who has been successful in developing a very successful Facebook group called Beauty Obsessed. Welcome, Mercedes. Thanks for being with us today.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm very excited to speak with you on your show.
So you and I had a little bit of a chance to get together and talk a little bit about your background. Share with the group, with our audience, how did you start? How did you get involved in doing a Facebook group?
So I'm only 20 years old, so back in high school I didn't have a lot of friends, and I didn't like hang out with a lot of girls, and it was really hard for me to make friends because I was always bullied and always into fights, and I just figured that why not find something for everybody in my hometown to get along, and I thought about makeup because it's girly, and what girl doesn't love makeup or skincare or anything that has to do with beauty? And you can't go wrong with makeup. You can't fight or find anything to start problems about it. So it started off pretty well. I added a few girls from my hometown to help me out, and we would just do themes, and we would add people from from our town. And overnight, I guess people from all over the world started to see that we would do themes of like different movies, different holidays, like Halloween, like all types of themes you could think of we would do. And everybody in the group would do them no matter what skill level you were. And from there, it just started picking up, and that's when I thought, like I'm really getting into makeup, and I'm really getting into this. So we just kept up with it, and I started becoming a makeup enthusiast, and now the group is super big, and we get noticed by tons of brands, and it's very surreal and overwhelming.
Well, and it sounds like it's been a very exciting journey along the way. The kind of people that you have, is it a certain age group, or can you define what are the types of people that have become part of the group?
So in our description, we allow obviously girls, and we allow men and boys who are also into beauty as well. There is no age limit. We allow people from all ages. We have people from like 70 to 13 in the group. So it's a very big variety of different age groups, and everybody they treat each other like there's no different. Like they're all so kind to each other. No matter what age you are, if you need advice, they're always there for you. So I think it's really good for the younger girls for when they do need help with stuff like school and bullies and like suicide, anything. They come to the group and we help them out because that's what we're there for, is to uplift and empower each other.
And so that's very interesting. And there's this ongoing conversation that's going on. Are you then sort of facilitating the conversation, or is it very organic in which everybody is participating?
Anybody can participate. People will submit posts, or sometimes they'll submit anonymous posts, and we would post them for them for things they're not comfortable posting themselves. Me and my admins, we will do it for them, and everybody in the group will come together, and they'll each state their opinions, and it's very awesome to see just a group of people come together to help one another.
And at this point, you're 140,000 people that are in the group is what I understand from our last conversation. On a daily or weekly basis, how much work does that involve to keep managing that?
It's a lot of work. At first, it was okay here and there. It was okay. It wasn't as we didn't have to keep up. But eventually, once we hit 100K, we turned approval posts on because it would be super hard to keep up with what gets in the group and make sure there's no spamming or no bullying or no drama posts. So we turned on approval, and every day we get at least 1,000 member requests and 400 pending posts. So it's a lot of work, but we have 7 admins of different time zones, so we each pick a time for when we're going to approve stuff and help, like, members out. Or they actually updated the approving to where you can change the member request from you could do male only, and then you could do woman only, or you could do your location. Mark Zuckerberg changed everything for the groups to be easier for us. So that was really helpful of him.
And so, again, you have 1,000 member requests and up to 400 post requests that admins have to go through and do something with it. And you mentioned that you have 7 admins that are in time zones all over the world. How did you find these people?
So I first started with a few girls from my hometown, and it didn't work out. So I would just see who was the most active in the group, and, like, I would always have, like, people tell me, like, what they love most about the group and, like, post a face shot, and I would go through them, and, like, I would read all the responses, and that's basically how I picked the best ones, or the people who would always help me. Like, there's girls who are always on the group and, like, they'll tag me every second to, like, any drama. So those girls, too, or anybody who has helped me with any drama or is always on it, I made sure to make them as admin because it was very helpful of them to do. And I thought they deserved to be admin because they were on the group so much, already taking care of all the people who weren't participating well. So, yeah, there's probably one girl from my town as an admin, but we never met. It's funny because we live in the same town, but I never met her yet, and I never met any of my other admins.
Isn't that great? That is so wonderful. And when you do have someone who tries to participate in a way that is not the bullying and that kind of stuff, what is it that you can do that shuts that down?
Well, what we do is we don't want to feed into the drama, so we do not, we will message them personally and we will give them a warning. And if it's, very, very foul, like name-calling or just very nasty comments, we will just remove them right away. But if it's just something that they need help on or, something that they shouldn't have said, we'll just hey, can you please, just let them know that they're doing wrong. And they'll understand, and they'll be like, oh, no, this is my favorite group, and we didn't mean that. So it's best to, message people instead of just throwing them out, because so many people tell us that the group is all they have, and I would hate to, remove someone that the group is all they have, and then you just remove them and they don't have it anymore. So we try to message them, and, yeah. And the blocking is really easy. You just search the name up, and there, it's right there to block.
All right, great. Well, we're going to take a break, and when we come back, we'll hear a little bit more about how Mercedes is growing this beauty-obsessed group and how her interface with Mark Zuckerberg has also helped some of that process. So stay with us. We'll be right back.
Here's the thing about beauty. It's pretty. At AmericanMadeBeauty.com, we're all about the pretty, making it easy for you to find what makes your beauty shine. We have essentially everything you need, and AmericanMadeBeauty.com celebrates brands that were created right here in the U.S. of A. Imagine everything you need from the best hair, skin, and nail products to makeup and even the tools, because it's all about pretty at AmericanMadeBeauty.com. We also think you're pretty important, so visit AmericanMadeBeauty.com. Browse, buy, learn. AmericanMadeBeauty.com.
When you're looking for bedding, department store prices can shock you. Well, be shocked no more. Sell steak cheap, not cheap steak. That's the motto of Anna's Linens. Although they don't sell steak, they do sell the best bedding, bath, and home decor items. They strive to provide their merchandise at extreme value to their customers, and they do it. Great everyday prices on everything and military discounts. Plus, if you visit them online, they have clearance items and internet specials. Visit them online now at HealthyLife.net's advertiser page.
We're looking for a few good American beauty manufacturers who want to increase their brand in an exclusive credentialed category. If you're an American company who has conceived, designed, and bottled brands that are all about pretty, then we're pretty sure we're talking about you. And we're pretty sure you should be on AmericanMadeBeauty.com. This beauty website focuses on entrepreneurs and beauty startups as well as established brands. If it's pretty, we want to see it, and we want to sell it on AmericanMadeBeauty.com. To learn how you can be part of AmericanMadeBeauty.com, visit AmericanMadeBeauty.com now.
Oh, man, it never fails. My suitcase just got ripped apart.
Life is a journey. Make it a pleasant one. Use Samsonite. You know the name. For almost a century, Samsonite luggage has proved itself to be the worldwide leader in innovative travel solutions. Let it be yours. Visit HealthyLife.net's affiliate Samsonite on our homepage and click to look at the fine luggage from suitcases to golf travel bags. And don't forget, take a look at their travel accessories. Make life a journey, a pleasant one, with Samsonite.
HealthyLife.net, where positive overcomes negative.
Welcome back. This is Patty Smucker, and you're listening to Radio AMB on HealthyLife.net. I'm here with Mercedes Felix, a woman who has 20 years old, who started a Facebook group called Beauty Obsessed and has grown it into 140,000 members from all over the world, being administered by 7 admin who have never met each other and are just doing some amazing things. Mercedes, I understand that you recently had an invitation and had a chance to meet Mark Zuckerberg. Tell us a little about that.
Yes, I was invited to a 3-day trip to Chicago. Everything paid for, the hotel room, the rides, the food, everything, by Mark Zuckerberg himself. And we would go to workshops, and we got to meet him. He gave us a speech of all our new tools that we're going to get on the group. We got so many new tools. Like, now we can see, like, who our top active members are, which is pretty cool, because it's pretty awesome to see, like, people are actually commenting like 300 times or posting like 100 times, like, in a day, and being very interactive with us. It was very fun experience. We had cocktail parties, we had a dinner and a huge party, and it was just, we actually got to meet Mark Zuckerberg, and we got to take, like, selfies with him. And, yeah, he's helped me out a lot with the group and approving and everything. I learned so much from this trip, and it was just an amazing experience. Everyone was so excited for me, and I made sure to, like, get gift cards from, not gift cards, postcards from Chicago and ship them all out to all my admins and thank them so much for everything, because without them I would have never got the opportunity to be in the same place as Mark Zuckerberg, including the members. I want to thank them so much for everything. I also went to a makeup event for certified makeup artists only, and I got to go by the marketing lady because of Beauty Obsessed, and it was my first makeup event, and it was pretty awesome. I got to meet new people, and I think it's helped me want to pursue my dream in being a beauty influencer.
So from the stage that you were at when you started this, and you mentioned at the very top of our program with you that you didn't feel like you belonged and that you felt bullied. Where are you now? How are you feeling about the success that you've had and what lies ahead for you?
I'm feeling so much better than I did 2 years ago. Like, I have so much more confidence than ever. I've matured so much more. I learned how to handle situations and I learned how to react to things differently because of the group. They taught me so much. I don't get bullied. I haven't been bullied since, like, probably a year since the last time I started it, and it's been very, very successful. Everybody supports me in my hometown. It was very hard coming up in my hometown because not everyone is supported, and I was like scared at first, but so many girls are actually really, really supportive, and it means so much. We even recently came out with Beauty Obsessed t-shirts, and it was kind of awesome to see all the people who supported, because we were also nervous that they weren't going to be a hit, but everybody enjoyed them, and they're wanting more. So hopefully we can get everybody all over the world sharing Beauty Obsessed and empowerment.
And the empowerment part, there's probably a couple of stories as far as people within your group as well that have learned some things. Is there anybody that stands out in your mind that has really participated in that the Beauty Obsessed has been something positive for them?
Yes, we have, I can name like at least 10 members that are super active. We have one named Felicia Taylor. She wanted to be a beauty influencer, and because of the group, now she gets sent stuff that she always wanted. She always wanted to be a product reviewer, and she thanks the group all the time. Like, it's so amazing seeing people get successful through Beauty Obsessed. We had a girl named Amanda Williams who had recently lost, I think, her best friend, and she, due to suicide, and she told us that the group was all she had during the live, and we all cried together. So that was very sweet of her to let us know, because it's actually very amazing that people let us know that, like, we're all they have, and they always tell us that we're the best admins and we don't let anybody bully, and we're always right on everything. So, yeah. And our admin, Madeline, is doing amazing. Like, she is, she's doing a contest with NYX right now. She works with, like, really top brands like Lime Crime and all types of brands like NYX. They also sent her a huge PR package of all their products, and we've been supporting her recently because people have been trying to bully her. So all the group members and all the admins, we all came together and we spread positivity on her post.
It's very exciting to hear the stories and to see how that community is building. So where to go? What do you see happening for you and Beauty Obsessed in the near future?
I hope someday I can do probably cool classes all over the world and get to meet each member from different city to city, and all my admins can come together. We are working on a lot of stuff, a lot of collaborations with brands and clothing line, and hopefully that more people will join Beauty Obsessed and spread the word. So I think it's a very, very good environment. It's somewhere that I'm always myself. I used to never wear makeup out the house. I couldn't go without it. But in the group, I can go live any way I want. They see me from happy, from sad, to where I'm just crying my eyes out, to where I'm super excited. It's a very, very good place, and it's helped me a lot gain my confidence, and it helped me to where I am today, because I get noticed by brands now, and I used to just do looks for fun, for reactions, from my family and friends, because I thought that it was fun to do, because I like doing crazy SFX makeup, and it's gotten me pretty far because of the group.
Well, that's very exciting to continue to see how you're using technology and to bring everyone together. If somebody wanted to reach out and participate, how can someone join the group?
You can look up the group on Facebook, and it should be the top one because we have the most members out of any group named Beauty Obsessed, and we accept everybody. We even go through. They had changed it to a tool to where they do flagged accounts, so it made it easier for us to just be able to approve everybody and delete all the flags because Facebook already did all that for us. And there's no requirements to join either. Like, everybody is welcome. We accept everybody in our group.
Great. Well, that's, again, the Facebook group is Beauty Obsessed. Join them and join the great community that Mercedes is developing. Congratulations, Mercedes. Thanks for taking the time to tell us a little bit about what you're doing, and we'd love to have you come back frequently and keep us updated on what's going on.
Thank you so much for having me. It means so much to me. I had a fun time speaking to you, and I hope we get more members from this, and I hope they can see how amazing Beauty Obsessed is.
Good. Well, we will, and you definitely have a new request for participation from me. So thanks again, Mercedes, for being with us.
You're welcome. Thanks so much as well.
That will do it for us today. Thanks for listening in, where we think beauty is very important in making a difference in the world, empowering women and young girls to understand that we do have the right to be confident and to excel and to reach our full potential, and that's what today's show is all about. Thanks for your feedback from our listeners. Send us your questions and comments and your insights with regards to being involved with the program that we talked about at the top of the hour, learning disabilities. If you've got a child with those kinds of problems, let us know. Request at AmericanMadeBeauty.com. And go to Beauty Obsessed on Facebook and join Mercedes and her group. Thanks again for listening to American Made Beauty, where we think pretty is pretty important in all things in beauty.